Thank you to Soccer Co for sponsoring today's video. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So, today we are going to be working in Ibispaint. I need to get my pencil out. But we are going to be drawing Yae Miko today. I don't know if I'm going to treat this as a sketch or I'm going to treat this as a normal illustration like how I usually do it. I don't think I've done one in a while. I think the last one I did was probably Kuching or Chong Yoon. Probably Kuching. But we'll give this a go. I usually don't do my painterly style that often on Ibispaint except for like sketches. But let's just give this a go. I don't really want to do line art today. I am going to need to pull up Spotify because I don't want to work in silence. And let me pull up the official artwork of Yae Miko so we can start to draw. Let's also do this. So I'm going to make a new canvas. I am going to set it to 5x7 with 350 dpi. Press OK. I am going to unlock our brushes. So the brush that I like using is the colored pencil, which is right here. So I'm just going to click on the ad and we have to watch the ad so we can use the brushes for the next few hours. Okay, so now that we watched the ad, we can just hit OK. I am going to turn off my Wi-Fi so we can eliminate our ads here. Yeah, so I just turned off the internet and we can start to draw. So I'm actually going to quickly drop in a background color. Whoops. I tend to not like drawing on a completely white background. I can barely see. That's okay. Okay. So just make sure we're on the right brush. I meant colored pencil. I don't know why I clicked coarse pencil because it was weird. So yeah, colored pencil is the one I'm using. So I just want to make sure and clear this up because my camera doesn't pick up every texture. So if I go with a really big brush, the texture is more apparent, but also my camera has a hard time picking it up unless I zoom really in. So yeah, if you are using the colored pencil and you're wondering why maybe it doesn't look the same or think it behaves differently, then that's probably the reason why. So I don't really have a plan in terms of how I want to draw Yae Miko. Yeah, I don't really have a plan. So we're gonna go into this kind of blindly. Let's put in like indication of where her head will be so we can try to figure this out because I don't know how I want to position maybe like her hands. Let's just figure out which way she's gonna be facing first, because maybe I want to kind of like twist her head so she's looking this way. We can have her hand going like this. I've seen people draw like this a lot for Yae Miko, but I kind of did that for like a Mista piece, so I don't know if I want to revisit it. I'm gonna make her lashes a little bit more prominent so we can kind of get those more, I don't know how to explain her eyes. Sultry? I don't know if sultry is the right word for her. Okay, so I need to turn off the color picker, our quick eyedropper. Give her a thicker lash line. In terms of what I'm listening to, I've been listening to 17's June's solo songs. So I think it's, what is it called? Silent Standing Bridge or something like that. And Crow. I've been listening to Crow, I think, the most. I do think Yae Miko is really pretty though. I am personally not gonna summon for her. I am saving my primos for Ayato, so do expect an Ayato video hopefully in the future. I'm not sure when exactly I'll draw him. And because I am not going to treat this as a sketch hopefully, and I'll do my best to do like the actual rendering and painting process fully, or at least to the best of my ability on here, I am going to try my best to keep everything fairly clean. Obviously I don't have to keep it clean at this very moment because we can go back and spruce things up first before we move on to coloring. But just kind of keeping some upkeep will help. a small smile. So because I'm kind of unfamiliar with how to work in Ibispaint, I'm gonna be fiddling around a lot. Because I actually don't know how to flip. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Okay, yeah, I needed that because her eyes are definitely uneven. Parts of these will make a little bit more sense when I color it, because I do want her lashes to stand out a little bit so that she kind of looks like has more half-lidded eyes. Yeah, I'm having a hard time trying to place where her neck would be. Because one thing about like drawing more anime styled characters, or even just like drawing in the anime style, they give the females such thin necks that doesn't really make sense sometimes. Let's get her hair into here. Just looking at the reference so we get her hair shape correct, because I feel like for like if you're drawing fan art of characters, it's nice to get the hair shape and clothing to be accurate so that they read as a character. I feel like the face is less important. You can stylize it a bit more. Sometimes I feel like when I'm trying to follow the reference for like the official art and stuff, and I'm unfamiliar with the character, I follow the hair shape and stuff a lot more closely, which kind of hinders the idea of adding movement for me. So compared to when I first worked in Ibispaint, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable in Ibispaint now. Just a little bit. In terms of not worrying about how... to me it feels a little laggy, and I don't know if it's because of my iPad or if that's just how Ibispaint is. And I can't really tell when other people work on it, so there's not really a frame of reference for myself. I'm gonna see if I can find other official art as well, because I don't want to draw these shapes too incorrectly. Yeah, because if I do the same, like this hand, I think it'd be too similar to the one I did of Mista, like right here. Like almost the same pose. The thing is, like, maybe I want her hand to touch her face. So... I'm gonna lift this finger more. So the problem with me is that I sometimes don't address each individual finger like independent of one another. So some of them look a little bit more unnatural when I draw them. Still get her nails into here. Let's not make her shoulder too tiny. I might raise it a little bit though. Sometimes when I draw people with pink hair, it's like a very soft pink, and I think she has like a nice deep color to it too, like as well, so I think that's kind of nice. So because their official model isn't out technically, I don't think she's on Game Fashion Archive. I actually haven't checked, but we're just using the official art that I can find. The thing is, I can't tell if this is extended further and it's tilted like this, because you can kind of see both of these together. She does have this gigantic, almost like a halo behind her head. So whether or not how I want to fit this in. I guess I don't really mind if it gets cut off. You just have to cut off an appropriate amount. You're gonna create too much tension. of looks like Yae Miko, kind of does and kind of doesn't. So the thing I keep struggling with is getting likeness. I also like how they draw Yae Miko with food a lot. So speaking of food, I wanted to let you guys know more about Sakura-ko. Sakura-ko is an authentic Japanese snack box with new seasonal Japanese treats each month. March's theme for the month was Sakura Afternoon Tea, which I thought was perfect for March's box since it is around Hanami season. So here are some of the wonderful snacks that came in this box. So lots of snacks and treats that I've never seen before, and each month's box includes Japanese teas, cakes, seasonal Japanese treats, and even Japanese home goods. This particular month's box included this really adorable sake cup, and though I don't really consume like alcohol, I'm still really excited to use this because look how cute this design is. It's super pretty. The box also comes with a 24-page cultural guide, and the booklet includes information on each of the snacks, but also includes information on allergies and if the snack is vegetarian friendly. Each month is a different theme, meaning that you get to try out a whole new selection of new treats and snacks every month. So for this box, I did ask my brother for his favorites, and he honestly said that he basically loved everything pretty much equally. I think for the most part, this box suited like his taste very well, and same with myself, but I am gonna let you guys know about some particular favorites that I had. Obviously for me, I really enjoyed the green tea that was included in this month's box. It's tasted a lot different from the other green teas that I've had. It has a bit of a stronger taste, it almost feels a little bit savory in a sense, but it tastes really well with a lot of the sweets that came in this box. And another thing I really liked was the shrimp and red wine senbei. It's really kind of like a unique flavor. It's really kind of a good balance of sweet and salty, and I just really love senbei in general, or any kind of like rice cracker. I think it's always a wonderful snack to have. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was the Sakura jelly. So I've never really seen a jelly like this where it's kind of like embedded in actual like sakura flower inside. I think it's really pretty aesthetically, but also tasted really great. I like that it also tasted like fairly light. If you like to get a box for yourself, family, or friends, then definitely use the link in the description with the code at checkout to receive free extra snacks along your first Sakura-ko order. Be sure to order this month so you can receive March's box, and thank you again to Sakura-ko for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the drawing of Yae Miko. Okay, so one problem I'm gonna have is drawing the whatever this thing is on her chest, which is like a larger, like almost like a gigantic like a medallion thing. Does this hang on top of her? Let's cut this. So I think we're almost done. I'm going to do this part of her sleeve. So I want to make sure I'm doing this correct. Like this. And some of these areas will be easier to fix with color and value rather than just line, so I don't want to get too caught up on trying to making everything look entirely correct. Okay, so I think we can prepare for coloring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get like kind of like a safety net. So we are going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to hide it so we can keep it for later just in case. I am going to change the colors of my sketch. Okay. We're going to make a new layer underneath, and we're going to use this as our coloring layer. So I'm actually going to change the background color first for her. Like that. I might add a lighter purpley color. So we're gonna go to brush. Does this thing have Gaussian blur? I don't really remember. I don't even know if that worked. Did that even work? Or is the Gaussian blur kind of... like, I don't really see a difference is the problem. Okay. Okay, let's start to color. So now that... wait, let's see. Set our sketch layer to multiply. Just to make coloring easier. It almost looks like muddy or too saturated, but I'm getting a little bit too close to white at this point. We'll just leave it at this color. It's gonna be a bit harder for you guys to see, probably, or it's gonna look more blown out. She looks a little bit more yellowy on mine. So the only times I'm going to change settings for my brush is literally the size and the opacity. I'm not going to touch texture, I'm not going to touch anything else. Just to make this a lot easier for myself. Let's see, let's add in some shadow color. So I'm just lightly kind of just using a lot less pressure to softly incorporate this color, and if we want it to go deeper, we'll just press a little bit harder. But to get this seamlessly on top of the skin, I am just using less pressure. I'm not using anything to blend it, and that's how I usually do like gradations and stuff for coloring. After that, I am going to go add a kind of like a dark reddish purple color, and I'm going to use this as a way to add a little bit of a deeper shadow, as well as kind of creating that shadow that looks like the hair is actually sitting on top of the face, just to create some depth. Kind of do her nail polish while we're here. Okay, I don't know exactly where I left off. As you can see, this is how much we got done, and it's been like, I think 2 days since I worked on this one in particular, and right now I'm looking at it. For you guys, it's probably more bluish looking, but for me, it's a little bit too saturated. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right back in, and I am going to change up the background colors just a little bit. This might work a little bit better. I might add a little bit more blue manually. So let's go into our brushes. I need to find the colored pencil again, because that's what I like to use. Get more of a light purple into there. Trying to knock back this pink color a little bit because it is a little strong in my opinion. But yeah, so we're about an hour in, so we're just gonna continue to color. I think what I'm noticing is that I'm being a lot more patient. I need to move this cord. I'm being a lot more patient while working in Ibispaint, because this is looking a little bit more similar to how I work in Procreate. I think I need to get my brother to translate a song for me. I don't know what the artist's name or the song title is, so I won't be able to look it up. But I do have a screenshot of the song. Okay, I need my references of Yae Miko first, so let me go pull up the official art. And her model is out by now, so now that I'm filming this on the 16th, you guys are gonna see this video on the 19th, I think? which is Saturday, but I initially started filming this on the 13th, I think. If not the 14th. I think I started filming on the 14th, which means her model wasn't out, but it should be out now, so maybe I'll just open up Game Fashion Archives. So her eyes are a nice kind of pink and purple with blue at the top, so let's give her a nice purple base. Make it much more vibrant and kind of pinkish at the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna grab a little bit of purple color. Lightly go over her lashes. She looks really pretty though. I was playing her, like, the demo or the trial version for her. She's kind of fun to play, but since it's the 16th and there's a bunch of like Ayato leaks and stuff, I really like Ayato, guys. A lot. I know a lot of people didn't like him at first, but hopefully with the new stuff some people changed their minds. I think it's really cute. How he kind of takes out like a little bubble tea or like a boba. But his animations and just like his whole demeanor is so elegant and I love it. But let's do the hair first. Now, usually I would do this after adding in the shadow, but because I already know where the light source is, I can kind of quickly add this in. I kind of want to doodle Ayato. Maybe I'll do like a few doodles before I actually start doing an illustration of him. I'm gonna push the shadows a bit more, so I'm making the deeper parts more purple. Okay, so her earrings are double-sided, so I'm probably gonna have to add those details in when we're on to shading and rendering everything out. Okay, and then gonna get highlights to make this look shinier. Something like that on the inside, and then I'll have to like carve out and make it a little bit more hollow after. Actually, let's do that right now so I don't forget. Kind of have a circle. Let's carve this out. Yeah, I couldn't really see with the official artwork, but I guess we're following closer to the model. So I'm using the game ones on Game Fashion Archive. I'll just have to do my best to fix this once we can change the sketch color and start to render everything. I'm going to add white, or add shadow to the white areas. She does have these little seams on her sleeve, but I think that's about it. So I'll be right back. So we spent about an hour and 18 minutes so far on this. After I'll come back, I will do some effects for lighting, and then we'll get to changing the sketch color to match a little bit closely, and then we can get to rendering properly. I'm gonna go get my tea. I miss, like, wow, I'm like talking with Alyssa right now. I miss putting lemon with my teas. Makes it feel more refreshing. So before I add the effects actually, I'm gonna go into my sketch layer and then lock it. And we're gonna go in and manually change these sketch colors to fit a little bit more appropriately. Kind of makes things look a lot softer. So I'm trying my best not to touch the edges too much, because once I merge the layers, usually the outside edge of my sketch will turn really light. So I'm actually gonna try my best to darken it a little bit. So I think that's about it. So we can unlock it and we can just go in with the eraser and clean up any of these miscellaneous lines that we don't need. And this will be up to you on how much information you want to keep. Because the more I erase, the more I have time to work on just getting details looking more refined rather than trying to get rid of all these excess lines. So what I'm gonna do is merge my sketch with my colors. So you're gonna take this one, you're gonna merge it downwards. And then I'm gonna add another layer. We're gonna set this one to add. Make this really pop with light. So forgot to clip this, so make sure to clip it so that's only on the layer that Yae Miko is on, so we don't affect the background too much, and we'll be able to merge this properly. Hey, I don't think I'm gonna add a multiply layer actually, so let's dim this a little bit so it's not as strong, and then I will go ahead and merge that downwards too, and now it's all on this one layer. Hopefully you guys can see. Yae Miko is all on this layer. I do have the backup just in case, but yeah, here is Yae Miko, and we can go ahead and start to kind of clean up and refine things. So sometimes I leave the lines a little bit more prevalent in the eyes, and sometimes I kind of get rid of it. So luckily, because we finished one eye, I can kind of just color pick so that they kind of look a little bit more like similar. So this entire portion is just basically me cleaning up everything, making things read correctly. Near the corner for eyes, so let's go ahead and do that. But usually when I'm in this kind of like last stage of trying to finishing up a drawing like this is when I start to put a little bit more detail, because you can see that I didn't put very much detail into the hair. Could have left it pretty simple with the shading. Gonna buff out her face just a bit. Get a little bit more round, because it's reading super pointy, and I think it's because I kind of lost her cheek due to her hair. So I'm gonna try to bring back the cheek a little bit. Trying to be careful of not triggering the quick eyedropper tool to activate while I'm doing this. Let's do the highlight. Because usually a lot of these lighter areas are easier for me just to render. So these are getting hit by like direct light. So I'm trying to soften up the lines a little bit. So it's good to add extra strands as well, just for texture of the hair. And also because one thing I really like to do usually, if it has like really bright light like this, is to add small strands here and there. Because sometimes the light for hair, when it hits hair, sometimes you get those small strands that the light just happened to hit. That's also something I'm not going to get used to. I'm so used to being able to color pick even with the eraser tool, and they'll switch you automatically to the brush. Like I said, if there's like lighter areas of their hair, I'll try to do some strands like this. Because I like when the strands kind of catch the light. I feel like there has to be an easier way. If someone knows how to flip an object on a layer without going to like put it on a separate layer, please let me know. Because there should have been an easier way to do that. So it doesn't look like the gold's all the way around. It's like on the opposite end. Get her hair in here. Okay, here we go. I think that is it for Yae Miko. So what I'm gonna do is some final touches, add a new layer, and hope that Gaussian blur actually works. I'm gonna add some petals. That's another thing I really like about Ayato's though. He had some really pretty petals flowing in his. Okay, so we have some petal going across. I'm gonna go into effects and we're gonna go into blur. So the one I usually like using is Gaussian blur. It does work, so that's good. So I can kind of catch the same amount of light as some of the other ones. And I'll also color that so it's not as harsh. Yeah, I think she is done. I'll just quickly save this by exiting out. I'll show you guys the amount of time spent, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is about on par to where I usually land for these kinds of I definitely missed it. 1 second. I missed something. Kinda like that. That's the best I'm gonna do. So yeah, 2 hours and 46, I'm assuming? 2 hours and 45 minutes is how long I spent. We'll quickly watch the time-lapse. Actually, I'll show the time-lapse at the very end as an actual video. So I'm just going to export this. But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching today and watching me draw Yae Miko. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time in the next video. Bye!